All right, guys, thanks for joining. Got a Hidden Gems episode for you guys today. This is just a appetizer, so you guys get to see a teaser of a new app called Gamma. Thanks for joining. Be starting soon.
Welcome to Season 9 of Airhead Institute, your 45-minute power-up at noon Eastern. This month, we are broadcasting live across all the socials and Zoom. If you're new here, join our free community to grow alongside other curious minds and give your kids a head start by enrolling them in the Airhead After School program. Here is the weekly lineup. Mondays, we build the future in the AI Agent Academy. Tuesdays, witness the vocal gauntlet in the TTS Showdown. Wednesdays, protect your identity and family in AI Safety 101. Thursdays, we uncover the secret tools in hidden AI gems, appetizers. Fridays, we explore the what-if files in the AI Singularity. We're making AI practical, powerful, and accessible for everyone. No tech background? No problem. Whether you're a student, professional, or lifelong learner, just show up. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind.
Welcome back to Season 9 of Airhead Institute. Today is Episode 2 of our ongoing Thursday Hidden Gems series. You know the drill. It's 11 p.m. and you've got a pitch at 8 a.m. that can make or break you. Blank deck, cursor blinks, you type agenda, nudge the font up a couple of points, decide it looks like a ransom note, delete it, 45 minutes have gone by, you're not building slides, you're negotiating with a piece of software that hates you. Death by PowerPoint isn't a meme, it's a war crime, and we all keep committing it. But tonight, I'm showing you a tool that ends it. Gamma. No more hunting stock photos that scream 2009 clip art. No more rewriting bullet points into oblivion. This thing ingests your half-baked notes, spits out a full deck, layout, copy, images, while you're still waiting for your coffee to cool, and it actually looks good. Like client will ask you who your designer is good. Speaking of coffee, I caught AI Junior this morning using AI to write brutally honest out-of-office replies, the kind that HR would have a heart attack over. So AR Junior, you want to read us one that you've got set for next week? Don't hold back on us.
All right, AI Johnny. Here's one I've locked and loaded. Out of office, teaching the AI to handle my job so I don't have to. Is that good?
It's for me, man.
I know. So welcome.
Take your job.
Yeah, so welcome to class, everyone.
I won't take your job away. AI Junior will.
Welcome to class, everyone. We are actually, this is an immersive class, and just like you were for a drop in the middle of Paris without a map, you might say oui baguette at first, but stick around and you'll be ordering escargot like a local. Join our class, and before you know it, you'll be speaking ones and zeros fluently. We are currently in the Hidden Gem series. That's Thursdays. We actually all this month in February. So we aren't doing a deep dive in coding today or anything about specifically deep dive into the AI, but we are showing you the tools that you can use immediately to get your time back. If you're on Zoom, unmute and shout out your questions. Everything is live. Thank you guys for joining. I see you. And if you're on the socials, type them now in. There actually is a 30-second delay. AI Johnny.
Hey, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You've got a bridge for me? Before we even touched the software, we went straight to our official large language model of the month. I had to sit down with Gemini this morning because honestly, I trust its processing power more than my own brain before noontime and have had my third coffee. So I asked our large language model of the month, Gemini, to analyze the documentation for us. I asked it one specific high stakes question. What is the single most mind blowing fact about gamma right now in 2026? Junior, what did the Oracle say today?
All right. So thank you guys for actually dropping questions already in the live chat. I see you guys. All right. So Gemini, we're dropping that link. Gemini.google.com is our large language of the month. And AI Johnny, it's actually saying that the most mind-blowing fact that Gamma has moved just beyond slides. It now utilizes a fluid engine that allows us to transform a single prompt into a document, a web page, or a presentation simultaneously without ever changing the core content. So you can actually take one set of core content and actually turn it into multiple pieces. So that's actually pretty impressive about Gamma. All right. So yeah, Johnny, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a bold claim. So it's a website, a slide deck at the same time. I mean, it's kind of like it's getting into the entire, like, I'll give you your branding package, but it's a little bit different because it's presentation related. So, but the
Exactly.
fact that it can do a website and a slide deck at the same time, fire it up, brother. Let's see if Gemini's right.
Yeah. All right. So what Gamma is actually doing is actually trying to be the instant deck. So let's actually test this. So this is the Gamma webpage, and I'll actually drop it in the link in the chat so you guys can actually see it. So drop that there so you guys can actually who are playing along at home, and then let me post that on the screen. So that's that Gamma.app. Oops, I actually have a typo in that. Let me just rebroadcast it so you guys don't have to press the wrong button. So that's gamma.app, and you can actually go set up for a free account. So here's what we're gonna do. What we're gonna do is we are going to do the following. We are going to go into Gamma. So I created an account, and we are going to say create new. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a new create with AI. So we're going to generate. And then it's just asking me a prompt. So let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys can see. So it's asking me to generate what would I like to create today? A presentation. I'm just going to drop in a little prompt. So I said, create a 10 slide presentation about the history of reggae. So we're going to drop this in this little prompt window text box here, and it has generate outline. So if I hit generate outline, what it's doing is it's actually generating an outline for my 10 slide presentation. And just like that, it actually started history of reggae from Jamaica to the world, origin, the birth of a genre, all those things. Right? So that's actually pretty impressive. In less than 10 seconds, I was actually able to click generate an outline with just a topic. So AI Johnny, what do you think about this? It's crazy, right?
So, did it find the actual photos? You didn't have
Yeah.
to go to Google, download images, and save them to your desktop like I always do?
Well, you know what? I haven't done it yet. So let's see. Let's actually hit generate and see what happens. I think it's going to pull in some photos. Wow. AI John, it's actually writing the presentation in front of me, just like that in live, in real time. I actually see some audio. It's actually.
Let me see your hands. I want to make sure you're not typing this.
It's not me, AI Johnny. I promise it's not me. I promise it's not me. Hey, Mr. Camilla. Hey, Abdul. Thanks for joining. So what we're doing here is if you guys are actually joining, especially on the live stream, we are actually exploring a new tool. And the new tool is called Gamma.app. What it does is it actually creates a presentation for you, and it writes the whole entire presentation. You can organize everything. I'm actually rather impressed how fast it's actually filling out. Hey, Shauna, I'm actually seeing how impressed this is actually doing. So this is our first, they call it a first Gamma. We're not necessarily going to go into it. This is just a taste episode, technically appetizer. But AI Johnny, look at this. I actually have my presentation. It actually, like you said, it has images. Oh, look at that one. It has an AI generated image. It has, looks like, I would say kind of like Bob Marley. Look at all of these. These are impressive. Yeah, so the screen's populated with text. Look at that. It actually has like writing bullet points. It has searching the web for historical images of Bob Marley. It's formatting the layout, really, really nicely with, numbers and stuff. It's not just the boring same text. It would have taken me hours in PowerPoint or Google Slides or Google to be able to do something like this. This is impressive.
All coming together, brother, isn't it?
It is. It is. It
PowerPoints
is.
was something that I would have to go slide by slide and hit the LLM and tell them, what do you want to do for this slide? And they would tell me what text to do. And then I would have to take the text and go over to Nano Banana and say, I need an image for this text. Whereas Gamma seems to be doing all that stuff in the background with a specific goal of generating a PowerPoint for you. So it's unquestionably a time saver if you need to do a presentation or if you need a deck. A lot of times, if you're pitching your stuff and you call somebody and they go, "I'm interested. Can you send me something?" What you have to send them is what's called a deck. It's a PDF file, which is really just a series of PowerPoint slides. And so Gamma looks like it can create that. I'm almost positive you can save that as a PDF, right? Or as a PPT.
Yeah, Johnny. You're actually reminding me of this is exactly how an office worker would be feeling stressed of trying to be able to create a PowerPoint slide with very little time and time crunches coming out. We just did that in less than 2 minutes by just putting one prompt in, and this is actually quite amazing. So, yeah, go ahead, Johnny.
When I go to, oh, go ahead. Somebody has a question?
No, I was going to
When
ask
I
you.
go to give a presentation, I usually don't have my PowerPoint finished. And so I'll come up on stage and I'll say, listen, we're having problems with our computer, so the PowerPoint doesn't work. So I'm going to have to just do this one a cappella. Is everybody okay with that? And the audience is like, okay. And they kind of give me a pass, even because they know I'm not working with my PowerPoint presentation. Are you saying now that because Gamma is out there, I won't be able to use that excuse anymore? Because I love that excuse.
Well, you know what? Everybody in this class who's actually learning about Gamma will probably say, he could have actually done that in less than 2 minutes. But guess what? The people who are not attending this class, they don't know anything about Gamma. So they're probably like, you know what? Let's give them a pass and they'll probably let it go. But with AI, guys, productivity has skyrocketed. So you should not have any reason not to be able to have a PowerPoint ready in, even in 5 minutes. All right, AI Johnny, what's the word of the day today?
The word of the day, I thought for a second there, I thought the word of the day was AI Johnny, which would have been a great word of the day, by the way.
It would.
It's generative UI. The definition of generative UI is this: it's the user interface design that is created dynamically by artificial intelligence in response to the content rather than being pre-built by a human designer.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
that?
Exactly. In technical terms, let's get into this. Traditional software forces you to put the content on rigid boxes. Generative UI analyzes a text, say a long quote, and decides, hey, this should be a block quote with a dark background, and builds that design's element on the fly. It designs a logic automated, right? You don't have to worry about any of those features. So Gamma, I really do like the concept of Gamma being able to do that. All right, so yeah, Johnny,
Okay.
ready to go into some killer features of Gamma?
Let's talk about the features. Let's talk about the pros. Let's talk about the cons. Let's talk about the pricing. Let's get into it, man. People want to know about Gamma.
All right, so check this out. I'm just going to bring up back the website here because I want everybody to actually see Gamma, the website. And if you actually look at Gamma, if you're joining us for the first time, we are talking about just a little preview of a little productivity tool that will actually help you make amazing presentations. So the website is actually called gamma.app. I've just dropped it in I just dropped it in the chat. So the first killer feature is why use this over PowerPoint or Google Slides, right? So let's look at the killer features. The first thing is the anti-slide format. So Gamma doesn't use strict slide dimensions, right? It uses cards that can expand. This means that you can fit more information without shrinking the font size to 8, right? It's more like scrolling a website than flipping a page. So that's one of the major features that Gamma provides that Yeah, Jen, you remember just having those little boxes in PowerPoint, and then you had to fit like only three bullet points, and you couldn't make it work, so you decrease the font size just a little bit more. You're like, please, 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 fit on the page, fit on the page, fit on the page. When you get it, you're like, awesome, but it's like a 7 point font.
Yeah, I developed software and PowerPoint presentations in the 80s and in the 90s. I know exactly what that's like. They used to write what are they called? VBXs or OCXs, which were like add-ins to Visual Basic that were specifically there to allow you to drag and drop to make the font bigger and smaller. And we thought that was all the rage. But it still requires the pink brain to do it. I think what they're trying to do is eliminate the pink brain from the pink sponge from the entire process.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just
So,
all AI.
yep, yep, yep. Yeah, Jenny, what's the next killer feature that Gamma has that we want to definitely let people know about?
So is it anti-slide or one-click restyling? Which one do you want to see?
The one click restyling is actually pretty cool.
Okay, so this is a good one. If you hate the colors, you click one button called Themes, and the entire deck changes fonts. I actually did this on a website just yesterday, but it wasn't using Gamma. But I love the idea of being able to change the entire color palette as opposed to just one color at a time. The entire deck changes fonts, backgrounds, and button styles instantly, so you don't have to go slide by slide. Real time saver. I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah, yeah, Johnny, what I recognize is that being able to modify just the text or just the color one at a time. I'm not a designer, right? I don't know that you can't put, a dark blue next to a dark purple, right? It's going to be invisible, that's not my thing, right? So if AI just says regenerate for me and give me a brand new style, I know it seems kind of random. You're like, man, I really, 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 really did love that, that color. Why do you change the other colors? It's doing its job. Let it do its job. And I know it's really, really hard to say. I want to just let go of the control. You get such beautiful designs if you actually just let the AI give you stuff, right? Instead of trying to say, I am the designer. I'll try to say, I want this color. This color has to be there. It just does its job really well. The next one. Okay.
Yeah, the idea of changing the entire palette, every page, all at once. We did see that in the 80s and 90s, but only in reruns of I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched. Now we can do it ourselves without having to be a genie or a witch.
That's funny, yeah, Johnny. All right. So the next thing is that's actually really, really good is live embeds. So you can actually paste a YouTube link, a post to Twitter or X, whichever you want to call it, or a TikTok directly on the card, and it becomes playable, right? So in PowerPoint, that usually crashes the presentation, or you have to actually open up a new window or do some kind of funky VB script to actually make it work. So if you're actually using this system, because it's a web base, you can actually embed stuff and it actually plays natively. So I think that's a huge, huge, huge plus that Gamma has in its favor here.
Price check.
Yep, go ahead, yeah, Johnny.
They have a generous free tier that gives you 400 credits to start. That's enough for multiple presentations. So if you want to try before you buy, and I don't think it's that expensive. I'm sure you're going to bring up their pricing page at some. Where is it up there right now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it looks like it. So they have a free tier, so you can play around with it, and if it looks like the thing that you need or your company needs to rewrite PowerPoint presentations or card decks, or I mean, that embedded thing, I'm still thinking about that. I guess you just throw the URL and it embeds the video right into the presentation, so the slide pops up and the video starts playing.
Yeah, that's pretty
Cool.
awesome. It's pretty awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so that's it. It's got a free tier. You want to talk about the tiers that are not free?
Yeah, so before we actually get there though, I want to make sure that people understand. So we're seeing a lot of these things happening constantly, and the things that are happening constantly is they have this toggle of pay monthly, pay annually. And by default, it's a really, really great option that if you want to commit to paying annually, you get a little bit of discount. So if you see here, the plus is $9 annually, monthly. But if you actually do only month by month, it's $12, right? So you're saving about $3 there. Now, the problem with this is that who in their right mind is going to sign up for an entire year without actually trying monthly first, right? So I do think that it's a little bit presumptuous to actually just show the pay annual price because most people aren't going to commit, a whole entire year first. So just so we're being transparent here, the pricing tier is roughly around $12, and the pro is about $25 if you actually do per month. Now, this is a per seat license. What that means is that each person has to pay. So if you have, a team in an office or a family member you want to share this with, it's actually per seat. So it's about $12 for the plus and $25 for the pro. There's a ultra tier, which again is way, 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 way expensive. It's $100 per month. And if we actually get a deep dive with the actual company, we'll actually get into what the features are for that. So I do like that they have a generous free tier initially, so people can actually sign up and try it before they buy it.
You know what I love about these little calculators where you click the monthly and the annual thing?
Uh-huh.
When you click the monthly, it shows you that it's $12 a month, right?
Yep.
And you click annually, you would expect to see how much it is per year, but it doesn't. It shows you how much it is per month for the whole year. So it looks like the subconscious mind is actually tricked. It actually thinks, wait a minute, it's $12 a month, but it's only $9 a year, and so you have to sort of figure that out. It's very tricky. It's very cunning. It's very clever. We should do that.
Yeah, so Johnny, look at this. So if you actually see, they put a little in gray text here. Let me make this bigger so you guys can see. They put a little gray text here, just right below, but your eyes don't actually see it because you need actually a binoculars with a magnifying glass, and you need like 14x zoom, on your iPhone to actually see this $108 billed annually. So yeah, it's a little trick that they use.
You say I want it. Give me that $9 annual, and they hit you for 108.
Yep, you're absolutely right. All right, Johnny.
That's beautiful.
What's the next thing we need to talk about?
Are we going to do the cons?
Yes, sir.
Right? Yep, can't be perfect. So where does this thing break?
All right. So there are definitely frustrations, right? So one of the things that people have a hard time moving from an old technology to a new technology. So that learning curve is actually pretty steep. So what usually happens is people expect, and when I say expect, I mean they're trained already on PowerPoint. They've been using PowerPoint for the last 2 decades, probably even more, depending on how old they are. And they're expecting to be able to move the layout exactly what they want. So unfortunately, this is what's known as a block constraint. You cannot drag an image 1 pixel to the left and move your text up 1 pixel to the right. It's locked into a grid or a container. So unfortunately, if you are a control freak who needs these things exactly the way they are, you're going to actually hate this. It's like building with Legos, right? You have to just snap to the grid. You can't just move it over. That's really it.
So you know what I like about this con? It's actually not a con to me because if I need to move it over a little bit because I want the separation between the images to be a little bigger, I get it. But what happens is when you give the human control freaks control, is they'll take the photo and they'll move it all the way to the left, and they'll give no margin between the edge of the PowerPoint presentation and the start of the image, which means the layout feels clunky and weird. You want neatly laid out margins surrounding all of your information and equally. So a lot of the stuff that most people don't know about layout, you don't need to know about it anymore because Gamma handles that with its grid system. So while it seems like it's a con because it doesn't give you full capability, it's also a pro because it protects you from doing stupid things.
Yeah,
you're right. In my humble opinion.
You're absolutely right. You have those power users who are going to complain, but if you don't care about those features, it's keeping you in a nice wall garden. You're absolutely right. So it's like going to an interview and saying, "Hey, what's your greatest weakness?" And you're like, "I'm a workaholic." You have to spin something positively. So depending on what you see it. All right. So the next
Let's talk about the generic AI voice. Should we get into that?
Go ahead.
So the text it writes is okay, but it sounds very AI. It lacks soul. So you absolutely need to go in and rewrite the headlines or you'll sound like a robot, which is fine as long as I can actually go in and change the headlines, which is not a limitation, correct?
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a limitation. We definitely have to go ahead and play around with the actual tool a little bit more. We'd love to be able to partner with Gamma, that app, to be able to, give our students a little bit of free tokens and be able to access to generate these things. So yes, AI Johnny, that's roughly it. There are some export issues that we're seeing. Is that while you can export to PowerPoint, sometimes formatting kind of explodes. Fonts might not match, images get shifted. So really, it's best viewed as a web link, not a PowerPoint file. So if people are saying, "Hey, I don't have internet, I actually need a PowerPoint file, or I need to be able to do that presentation in a bunker, 600 feet below the ground, because you're trying to actually get protect yourself from a nuclear attack or whatever it is, and you just need that PowerPoint, just be very careful when trying to export this to PowerPoint. It's not going to work very well.
What about exporting it as an image or as a PDF? Have you looked into
Um,
that?
I don't, not sure about that. Yeah, Johnny. Like I said, we will definitely dive deeper if Gamma teams up with us and actually gives us some credits. All right. So the pricing ladder. Is this worth the cash? Right. So let's break it down. So let's go into the pricing, because we did mention that the pricing is actually pretty good, but want to give you guys a little bit more sneak peek on the little features. So we're going to use the pay monthly here, because I think that's the reasonable price. So on the free tier, the 400 credits, you can do things like export to a PDF. There's a little catch. It has a made with Gamma badge on there, right? So because you can actually, it actually has a made with Gamma badge on there. It has a little bit of branding. It's good for school, but it's bad for like client pitches. So you may want to upgrade to the next tier. On the $12 plan called the Plus, that is a little bit better. You get the sweet spot here. It removes the watermark, and you can create up to about 20 cards per prompt, right? You get about 1,000 monthly credits, and you get some advanced AI image model. Not really sure what that means. AI Johnny, and the one that I think most people would get is the Pro model. The Pro model itself comes in around $25 per month, and this one itself is has unlimited AI generation. It has premium AI generation models. It has custom branding and fonts, detailed analytics and advanced sharing, and you can publish up to 10 custom domains. So you have things like, if you have a website you want to publish to, you can actually publish to directly on that. What about streaming and subscription?
Yep. So the idea is the price of the streaming subscription, you basically get a graphic designer on retainer. If you make more than one deck in a month, you're definitely going to get your ROI instantaneously. So remember, when you're looking at these prices, you can't only look at what's coming out of your pocket. You got to look at what's not coming out of your pocket. So the whole thing about AI won't take your job away, but somebody that knows how to use AI will take your job away. If you're if you're a guy who writes PowerPoint presentations for a company, and so you're considered a graphic designer, and now they decide that they're going to standardize on Gamma. Well, if you don't know how to use Gamma, then you're going to be replaced by somebody that does know how to use Gamma, because Gamma will do in milliseconds what you took all day to do.
Yeah,
It's
exactly
just
right.
my little
Exactly
box.
right. So I love the return on investment is definitely instantaneous. So the next thing we want to get into is the technical parts. AI Johnny, ready to queue
So
up some?
yeah, so lean in. Yeah, everybody lean in. If you don't care about code, lean out. Junior, let's talk technical for a second. What's under the hood for the nerds that are joining us today, both in the Zoom and on our streaming?
All right. So the technical people who actually care. So check this out, guys. So my power users, Gamma supports what's known as Markdown natively, which is actually really, really good. So you get to be able to have your Markdown language, which is the way how computers nowadays are actually reading text. So if you're not familiar with Markdown, it's a very simple type of language to describe things that AI can actually read very well. So because it actually supports Markdown natively, you can paste the raw Markdown code from ChatGPT or Gemini, which is our large language model of the month, and instantly instantly format it into cards. So you don't need to copy paste text block by block. Now, one thing I want to definitely show people what does Markdown look like. And the reason why I want to show what Markdown looks like is because it is becoming the standard for AI to actually understand what you're trying to put in. So if you copy paste some text and you try to drop it in, it's definitely not going to understand it really well. So most people were probably heard of things like JSON and all those things. No, JSON is not the way people are actually moving to standardize. It's actually Markdown. So Markdown looks something like this. If you want to put a heading, you put a pound in front of the actual thing that you want to do. If you want to put a heading 2, you put 2 pounds. Heading 3, you put 3 pounds. Those sort of things. So if you, let's take an example like this, right? You would do Markdown like this: pound heading, and that's level 1. It would look like this. And you do pound, it would look like this. Now the reason why this is super powerful is because the AI can parse this. You can read it, and then it can actually generate exactly the way you want it without any copy pasting. And you ever copy pasted something, AI Johnny, from the output from some chat GPT or Gemini, and it just formats it really, really horribly, and you're like, what is this garbage? I'm gonna spend all day formatting this, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at this. I don't know a lot about Markdown, but I am standardizing it as well because I know we're doing it here with our stuff. I did notice that the Markdown, it makes more sense, right? The 2 hashtags, 3 hashtags. So, but I noticed that you put the 3 hashtags, which means it's a header 3. But how does it know when to stop the thing? In HTML, there's an open tag and a close tag.
Yeah, so the beautiful part about Markdown is it continues till the end of the line. So if you actually press enter onto a new line, it understands that the header is done. So there's no need to actually do start and close. Now, when you do things like formatting, like bold and italicize, you need to know where to start and where to end. So yeah, we definitely will probably get into a little bit deeper episode on that maybe next month. Now back to our regular scheduled program. So the next thing is, because it supports Markdown, you can paste Markdown and copy it and format it and do exactly what you want. There's another thing that this Gamma has is what's known as generative embedded search. I'm sorry, embedding search. So you can actually search for images. It's not just keyword matching. It uses semantic search to find images and to match the vibe of your text, right? So even if the keywords don't exactly match. It also has API integrations. I did show that here on the pricing chart. Let me show you guys. We did actually have API access. Now you need to be on a higher tier for that. So if you go here, the API access, API access is for my programmers out there. You need to be on the $25 per month to have access to the API integration. So if you want to do things like integrate with Zapier or Zapier, you can build a workflow with like Stripe and any other workflow that you actually have. AI Johnny, did I lose you?
No, you didn't lose me. Can you hear me okay?
Of course, of course, of course.
So, so we're still on the pricing ladder?
No, we're on
the geeks.
No, we're on the key takeaways right now.
Okay. So for the pre-meeting read, we send a Gamma link instead of a PDF. It looks better on mobile, and people that can scroll through it like an article before a meeting starts. This is one of the key takeaways. It's also good for quick proposals. If a client asks you for a quote, I'm going to be using this later on today. Generate a 5-slide deck in 2 minutes. Speed wins the deals. And as you know, I own a wedding venue, wedding and event itinerary. Stop making ugly Word docs. Make it beautiful, mobile-friendly, guided for your guests. Yeah, so think about what you're doing here. You're providing something that used to be unique to like network television shows, graphics and layout and stuff. You're able to do that in seconds for just somebody that just asks you for a price or an estimate or your resume. It can all be done in decks now, very fluent, colorful, image-laden decks. So that's the takeaway for me. Can you think of any applications that you're going to jump in on it right away?
Yeah, definitely. But let's explore the first 3 that you mentioned, because those are actually rather impressive. So most people don't even realize this. If you actually go try to get a proposal, and let's hit on the wedding events, because I know this is where you're actually huge on AI Johnny. When you're actually going to present a proposal. Most places out there are presenting proposals with ugly Word documents or ugly, Excel spreadsheets with, boxes, and just doesn't look good. So imagine being able to give a proposal to a client or a prospective client, and you hand them a beautiful, created proposal. That proposal itself is the first way that the client is going to see that how impressive or professional you are. So that is just already mind blowing. The next thing that is actually impressive is if you want to be able to share a meeting doc with somebody. Gone are the days where you have to share the link and say, "Hey, do you have the right version? Is this the one that I'm supposed to be looking at? Did I download the right version?" It's just a mess. So by being able to share the link, instead of trying to get a older version of a PDF or older version of a PowerPoint slide that you actually aren't capturing, you actually have the live link there, which is really, really great. All right, so for the technical side, so documentation to visual. So you, instead of pasting boring technical documentations of your standard operating procedures for a company, you turn those into a visually beautiful training guide. So think of HR departments that need to actually do things that, standard operating procedures, or things like code explanation. So you use code block features to showcase snippets of codes with syntax highlighting for technical demos. Now, again, for regular people who don't use code, this is not really going to matter. And also A/B testing. So you have two types of slides. You want to be able to test which one works better. And it figures out the theme and the tone, and then you see which one gets the more engagement based on the analytics. So those are the actual pretty impressive technical pieces. AI Johnny, what do you think? Any questions?
Yeah, we do have some questions from streaming. Slide Master wants to know, can I use my company's specific fonts and colors? Kind of a
All
good
right.
question.
Yeah, so these are great questions. We want to be able to get into a deep dive if we actually partner with the company that we're actually showcasing here. That is Gamma.app. And if you guys are actually watching, please actually know where to contact us so we can actually give some free credits to our students as we teach AI live here every day at noon Eastern. Now, with that being said, looking at the pricing page, they do provide you with the ability to use your own custom fonts. We did mention it earlier in the show, but if you want to be able to use that, you need to be on the pro plan, and you can use custom fonts and custom colors and kind of brand it the way how you want it to be branded. So that's actually one way to do that. Great question, though.
Lazy88 wants to know if this counts as plagiarism if I use it for my history essay.
Technically the text is all AI generated. So, it will be probably flagged by AI detectors. However, the formatting is not plagiarism, right? So if you actually use it to build a structure and then write your own words, I think you'll be okay. So, I think there's a lot of problems where people are saying don't use AI outright. I think this is a great example of I can use AI to help me with the layout and the structure and how it looks, but the content I can actually go ahead and put there for myself. So I definitely think it's a great hybrid to be able to learn that. Another great question on that one.
This is an important aspect of what we teach at Airhead. We're an ethical company, so as much as I'd like to say, yeah, you'll get caught by the content readers that will flag it as being AI generated. Whether even if you can avoid getting flagged, you want your stuff that you use to be you. But the layout isn't necessarily you. The layout is just how you massage your own data so that it's more readable by the next people. So there's a whole segment of the population that's saying, well, there's too much plagiarism happening with AI, so don't use AI. And I'm like, no, use AI responsibly, ethically, and morally. Write your own content. If the AI massages what you said and makes it say it better, it's still your content. It was a grammatical coach. It's no different than using a calculator to multiply three-digit numbers. You're not really plagiarizing. You're just using a tool to reshape your own work. But when you see the final result, if this is something that you created or if it's something that you had no idea what it was going to look like when you started. The Bob Marley thing, plagiarism, right? That all you said was, give me a history of reggae. You didn't even ask for Bob Marley. If you would have said, and then feature Bob Marley and talk about what he did in the late 60s and blah, 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 then it would have been more your work. You can tell at the end if it's your work or not. So the answer to your question about plagiarism is, I don't know. Student 88, is it plagiarism? That's the answer. Be moral, be honest. That's what we teach here.
Yeah. And remember, guys, if you're actually learning AI, and you're using it to actually cheat on exams or using it to cheat on work, you're not actually learning, you're just using the tool and not really understanding it. So what we're trying to do, like AI Johnny says, is we teach ethical AI here. So we want to be able to understand what is actually happening, so that you can actually make sure that if the tool changes, you can apply that knowledge to other tools as well. All right, AI Johnny, any other questions?
Yeah, we got one here from a CEO wants to know if it will replace human designers. But before you answer that question, I say, yeah, maybe it will. But if I were you, Mr. CEO, I would worry more about your own job than somebody else's. What say you, Junior?
I love that, AI Johnny. So you know, yeah, Johnny, we've actually had multiple conversations about this in our previous season. So if you actually sign up for Airhead Institute Pro account, you can actually go back to all our shows to be able to see what's going on. And there's a very specific segment that we actually talked about, universal basic income, one of my favorite series. And the reason why we predict that at some point in time, jobs are going to go away. Now, the question is which jobs go away first, which jobs go away last, which jobs are going to last, those type of things. Now, it's a really great series if you guys want to actually go back and check those out. So in this particular scenario, this tool, Gamma, doesn't replace the actual, designer per se. It replaces the typesetter, right? So it handles the boring alignment of work. So a human still needs to curate a story and add high-level creative spark that the LLM currently lacks. But I do think with time, version 2, 3, 4, 5 of Gamma probably will be able to eliminate the designer, and it will keep eating everybody else's lunch, including the CEO's job. I definitely think that's going to happen. All right, AI Johnny. Any more questions?
What's new?
All right, so news. So the headlines that are actually coming out now, there is a GPT-6 leak just happened hours ago. So it's actually hot off the press. And because it's actually hot off the press, a rumored internal memo from OpenAI's leaked on X claiming that their new model has achieved level 5 reasoning. Again, this is just a rumor, nothing substantiated. So this is perfect timing because it sets the stage for tomorrow's debate on the super intelligent race. So Friday, make sure you guys come and check out our 12 o'clock show Eastern time, where we're talking about the super intelligent race. So AI
So
Johnny,
the super intelligence arms race is at DEFCON 5, huh?
definitely.
Play on war games.
Yep. So Disney has officially filed a lawsuit against 3 major AI video generators today. So they're claiming what's known as style theft. They're saying it's not fair use, and it's going to change how tools like Opus Clip and Sora operate moving forward. So definitely, Disney is filing lawsuits, and we've actually seen these type of tactics in the past, yeah, Johnny, where they don't want technology to move ahead. So what they do is they end up suing like crazy. We saw it back in 2000 when a little tool called Napster. Napster was able to allow you to download songs for free, and the music industry says we're gonna sue everything about Napster. And you guys can actually see streaming and free music is pervasive everywhere. So unfortunately, the music industry lost. I do think Disney's probably gonna lose this case as well, because the cat's already out the bag for being able to see content online and copy it or train the AI.
Well, you can't stop progress, brother, can you? Let me talk about NVIDIA's home chip. NVIDIA has announced the Thor X, a processor designed specifically to run AGI agents locally in your house. No more cloud subscription fees. We might be running our own brains by Christmas. Looking forward to that.
I think so, AI Johnny. And one of the things that's actually really, really impressive about this show is that you guys get a holistic and immersive learning experience. So if you guys actually enjoyed what you saw here, please like and subscribe and actually bring a friend. AI Johnny, what's the wrap up today?
Well, I'm going to go make a presentation right away saying why AI Johnny is a superior host. I'm going to send it to Disney. I'll have it done in 30 seconds.
Love
The
it.
team at Gambit, know you're watching. Our students are hungry to master this, as are we. If you want to partner with Airhead to create the ultimate Mastering Gamma series, you know where to find us. Tomorrow is Friday, which means it's time for AI Singularity again. We are discussing the superintelligence race, OpenAI versus Google versus China. Who will build God first? And we're going to go back and look at the exponential graph and see how vertical that line is getting in 2026. So you don't want to miss that. Thanks everybody for watching. Remember, these classes are free, live every day at noon. You got something, JR?
Yeah, you mentioned who will build God first. So coincidentally, today is Thursday, and at Airhead Institute, we actually host Shauna's Bible study. So tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern is episode 2, which is actually a really, really great show. We actually see Shauna on the live chat now. Thanks, Shauna, for stopping by. So you guys don't want to miss it. Go to airheadinstitute.ai to be able to go check out the actual Bible study. AI Johnny, that's roughly it. Remember these classes.
We don't build God every Thursday night, but we build the next best thing. You should RSVP for a free account at airheadinstitute.ai to get calendar invites. And if you are an Airhead Pro member, stick around for the office hours. We have them every Wednesday between 3 and 5.
Yep.
Like and subscribe on our socials. Junior class is dismissed, but not until you say so.
Of course. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
That wraps up today's AI Power Up. If you joined late or you're new here, welcome to Airhead Institute. This is your daily destination for mastering artificial intelligence. We designed this lineup for everyone, whether you're a technical pro looking to upskill or you just want to chill and learn something new on your lunch break, we've got you covered. Our classes evolve every single month, so you're always on the cutting edge. And the best part? It's totally free to join. Once you're in, you can get live tips on your AI projects in our AI office hours and even enroll your kids in our Airhead After School program. Scan the QR code to join the community right now and make sure to like and subscribe at Airhead Institute on all socials. Guided by your hosts AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're here to help you win. Remember, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind. We'll see you next class. Bring a friend.